Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. In this video, we're going to talk about this sighting that took place. This is from the Mesa Arizona temple, very odd sight. And then we're going to revisit this Millennium Falcon, or sometimes they call it the Devil Comet. It's 12P Pons Brooks, that's the name of it. Because this thing, we've been watching this for a while, and it's been like acting up. It's done different things. It's changed colors, and something wild just happened to it again. So I want to show that to you. Before we get into all that, I want to remind you, I support and I promote these Artza boxes. What it is, you sign up. You can either buy one box or you can get it every quarter. The one that they have right now is the Holy Land gift box, and essentially what they do is they send you these boxes that have items and food that are made in Israel. Each one has a theme. So at one time there was a Nazareth box, and this is what it looks like. It comes with all this stuff. There was a Bethlehem one. It looks like the Bethlehem one was Christmas themed, and I've said before the Christmas boxes are my favorite. A Jerusalem box, Galilee. But anyway, the one that they most recently sent out was the Holy Land gift box. And we opened that up when I was up at Adamon visiting Tamara. I gave the box to her, and it came with this stuff. There's a decoration that you can put up in your house. It's the modern nation state of Israel with doves. There was a tapestry with the scripture on it, chocolate bar. There was this HB Dead Sea Minerals Intensive Black Mud Body Cream, a game, like a traditional game that's played, I guess, in that area. That uses these 5 stones. So anyway, that's not all of it. There was more, but it comes with a lot of stuff. My kids really enjoy it because it's always a surprise. You never know what you're going to get with the Jerusalem or with the Artza boxes. To order it, go to the description box of any video. You come down here where it says order your Artza box from Israel, 25% off with code Jared5. So if that's interesting to you, I would encourage you to do it. It is worth the money. Okay, so let's get back to this. So I think there were a couple people that sent this to me. There was a really crazy looking site. And this video was taken from Mesa, Arizona. So some people were wondering, is this the sign of the Son of Man? Like, what's going on here? Is this something angelic, supernatural? And I'll give it just a minute. The person's going to pan over, and you'll see the Mesa temple right there. One of my favorite temples ever. Unfortunately, it turns out, I wish it was the sign of the Son of Man. I really do. But it turns out that it was actually a rocket from SpaceX. And actually, the person that posted this video, Mesa Temple Events, put that at the Easter pageant rehearsal tonight, when SpaceX's Starlink satellite flew over. And then there's also some other videos that you can find. This is on X. And this is actually a really cool video right here, where from the ship where the the rockets land, the boosters land, it shows it coming toward the ship, and then the actual landing of the boosters. So just look at this really quick. I'm just going to fast forward. And then they land on this ship. It's really crazy. There was another video. This is in Los Angeles. So it was seen from there. Some really cool video from there. This one looks really wild because it's like glowing like a blue color in the sky. So anyway, that's what it was. However, I just want to remind everybody about this quote. This is from Joseph Fielding Smith. This was the April 1966 General Conference, because there's always misconceptions about what constitutes a sign. A lot of people think it has to be natural, it has to be magic, it has to be excuse me, supernatural. That's not the case. Look what Joseph Fielding Smith says. The words of the prophets are rapidly being fulfilled, but it is done on such natural principles that most of us fail to see it. Joel promised that the Lord would pour out his spirit upon all flesh. The sons and daughters should prophesy, old men should dream dreams, and young men should see visions. Wonders in the heaven and in the earth would be seen, and there would be fire, blood, and pillars of smoke. I'm going to skip down. One wonders if we are not now seeing some of the signs in heaven. Not all, for undoubtedly some of them will be among the heavenly bodies such as the moon and the sun, the meteors and the comets. But in speaking of the heavens, reference is made to that part that surrounds the earth and which belongs to it. It is in the atmosphere where many of the signs are to be given. Do we not see, now look at this, do we not see airships of various kinds traveling through the heavens daily? Have we not had signs in the earth and through the earth with the radio, railroad trains, automobiles, submarines, and satellites, and in many other ways? There are yet to be great signs. The heavens are to be shaken. The sign of the Son of Man is to be given, and then shall the tribes of the earth mourn. So you might be like, well, we know what this is. This is SpaceX's rocket. But according to Joseph Fielding Smith, it's a sign. It's a sign that technology is advancing, things are happening, humanity is progressing in technology, and it just shows that we're getting further and further into the future and closer to the second coming. So it may not be like a specific sign of a particular scripture, but it's a wonder. And anyway, I can't really add much more on top of what he said, but he included these type of things. Okay, so next, let's start talking about the comet. I got an email from Anonymous, Devil Comet Update. Hey, Jared, not sure if you've seen this article yet, but it looks like the Devil Comet is getting brighter and is, quote unquote, on the cusp, naked eye visibility, and has a good chance of becoming brighter and more visible during the solar eclipse. The article also mentioned update in its colors and now emitting red gas. And then they leave a Forbes article. Okay, so if you didn't know, we're going to do this chronologically, kind of like what we did with the last video that I did about Betelgeuse. We kind of looked at all the different things that have happened with that star. I would encourage you to watch that video because it's pretty amazing. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about the sign of the Son of Man, and then we'll look at the history of this comet. Okay, because why would we specifically be interested in comets, in asteroids, and things like that? Well, potentially because of this. So this is from the words of Joseph Smith, page 181. Read Matthew 24 chapter and all the prophets. He says, "Then shall they see the sign of the coming of the Son of Man in the clouds of heaven." How are we to see it? Answer, as the lighting up of the morning, of the dawning of the morning cometh from the east and shineth unto the west, so also is the coming of the Son of Man. The dawning of the morning makes its appearance in the east and moves along gradually, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. It will be small at its first appearance and gradually becomes larger, until every eye shall see it. Shall the saints understand it? Oh yes, Paul says so. Shall the wicked understand it? Oh no, they attribute it to a natural cause. They will probably suppose it to be two great comets coming in contact with each other. It will be small at first and will grow larger and larger until it will be all in a blaze so that every eye shall see it. Okay? So in other words, when it appears, some people are first going to think that it's a comet. Okay? Here's another quote. And by the way, all those misspellings, that's how it's written in the book. I copied it exactly how it was in the book because the people that compiled all these quotes from Joseph Smith, they kept the original spelling and grammar and stuff. Okay, now, this is from Scriptural Teachings of the Prophet Joseph Smith, compiled by Joseph Fielding Smith, pages 286 to 287. There will be wars and rumors of wars, signs in the heavens above and on the earth beneath, the sun turned into darkness and the moon to blood, earthquakes in diverse places, the seas heaving themselves beyond their bounds. Then will appear one grand sign of the Son of Man in heaven. But what will the world do? They will say it is a planet, a comet, etc. But the Son of Man will come as the sign of the coming of the Son of Man, which will be as the light of the morning cometh out of the east. Let me just pause right there. I don't know why it is, but based on what we've read, these couple quotes, it seems like the sign of the Son of Man, some people think it's going to be some separate thing that happens in the sky or in space. But it seems like it's actually Christ coming with the host of heaven and in his glory. It seems to me like, based on how it's worded here, it sounds like that's what the sign is. It's not like a separate phenomenon. Now, Bruce R. McConkie in Millennial Messiah, he says that we don't know what the sign is, so he casts some doubt as to like what we know about it, but it just sounds like to me here that he's saying that it's Christ himself that is the sign of the Son of Man. Anyway, let's just continue. So let's start talking about this comet. Is it the sign of the Son of Man? I don't know. I hope it is. Okay, so this is my spreadsheet. It's called Signs, Comets, Meteors, and Asteroids. And the comet that we're talking about is 12P Pons Brooks. So the first entry that I have on my spreadsheet is from July 20th, 2023, when it had its first eruption. So I guess the way that it works is that as it gets closer to the sun, the material inside heats up and it goes straight from a solid state to a gas. And I think that's called sublimation. I can't remember, but it skips the liquid stage. It just goes from solid to gas. And so as it heats up, it's so intense and the pressure is so intense that it explodes. And so that's what the eruption is. So it had its first eruption this time around because it's it goes in an orbit around the sun. So this time around, this is the first eruption since 1954, and it abruptly brightened 100-fold. So we already saw this picture. So this is what it looked like when it started coming back, and people were calling it the Millennium Falcon comet because it kind of looks like the Millennium Falcon. But then it seems like this nickname kind of took over, where they started calling it the Devil Comet because it had horns. So that was a unfortunate turn. It's very large, like it says here, 3 times bigger than Mount Everest. And in this article, it talks about the fact that it's city-sized. So that's interesting. It kind of makes me think of the city of Enoch. That would be great if that's what this actually is, but I don't know. Okay, going back to the spreadsheet. So we had that first eruption July 20th of last year. Okay. And then the next thing that happened, it was October 5th, just 2 days before the war in Israel started. It had its second eruption. And then on Halloween, it had its third eruption. And then November 14th, it had its fourth eruption, which was its biggest blast yet. It also brightened 100-fold and changed color to a green color, and it lost its horns and a dark gap appeared. And there's a picture of that. Let's see. Well, first, here's like some observations of like how it's exploded and then gone back and then exploded again. But then it ended up looking like this. You see the dark, the like line right there, that gap, and then it changed colors to like a green color. So this was very interesting. This happened around the time that there was the transition between President Ballard and President Holland. So that's something to take note of. Okay, so that was already pretty crazy. Now, remember, this is the comet that you should be able to see during the eclipse if you're in the path of totality, which makes, for me, it makes this comet even more special. They've talked about the fact that that's very rare, that you would have a comet taking, like a comet that you can see from Earth with the naked eye or even with binoculars, that would happen at the time of an eclipse where you could see it if you're in the shadow of the moon. So I feel like there's something to that. So we're waiting for that event to take place. That's going to be on the 8th of April. But it turns out that we had this new thing take place where now, let me just start reading the article, then we'll look at the picture. We have this. This is from Forbes. This is the article that Anonymous gave me. Something weird is happening to Comet, set to show during April's total solar eclipse. How to see it. A comet almost as famous as Halley's Comet is brightening in Earth's early evening night sky and could be visible during April 8th's total solar eclipse. But something strange appears to be happening to its nucleus. A new image on NASA's astronomy picture of the day by Norwegian photographer Jan Erik Valstad shows Comet 12P Pons Brooks with an impressive tail and a strong spiral of gas around its nucleus. So look at this. When you click on that link, it takes you to this. This is what it looks like now. So this comet has taken on a lot of different shapes, and it's been very active. It's coming at a very, very interesting time. You know, again, you might say, well, we know that it's a comet. You know, you can see the tail. We know what comets look like. We have astronomy. Yeah, we do. You're right. You're right. But there could be things that we do not see. I'm not going to go over the whole thing again, but just remember, when we read about the three Nephites, or when we read about people that have been translated, it seems like the default is that they are not visible to the naked eye. We read in 3 Nephi chapter 28 that the three Nephites have to pray to the Father in order to appear to whoever they want to appear to. So it seems like there's an unseen sphere that we can't see because we're in a telestial condition. And I think that there might be more that may be revealed to us when the Earth returns to its paradisiacal state, and it's now in a terrestrial state, and everybody, including the Earth and all animals, everyone's going to be translated. So yes, to our eyes and to our equipment with what we're able to detect, it just looks like, rock and ice and whatever. It's a comet, but there might be more there than what we know. So imagine that it is the sign of the Son of Man. Imagine that it starts heading like toward Earth, like it changes course, and it gradually approaches Earth. It becomes larger and larger as it approaches the planet, and then the Earth becomes paradisiacal. We get translated, and then we can actually see what it is, that which we cannot see currently with our natural eyes in this telestial condition. So that's just a thought. It's just a thought. Okay. It's just a thought. Geez. Okay. So this is a very interesting comet, and it has a red excuse me, a red gas coming out of it. And not just that, but now it's in a spiral shape. So that's very strange. Let's just take note of it. No harm in doing that. Okay. Later on, about 10.5 miles or 17 kilometers in diameter, Pons Brooks has been getting brighter in recent weeks. Its present magnitude is +6, which is just on the cusp of naked eye visibility, and there's a good chance it could brighten significantly in coming weeks. That's not only because of it's getting closer to the sun and Earth, but because it's liable to outbursts, just like what we've seen. Okay, red gas spiral. Over recent days, deep sky imaging of Pons Brooks has revealed that the comet has a light blue tail and a green outer comma. However, the spiral of red gas around the comma is thought to be caused by the comet's rotating nuclei. Pons Brooks will be around 25 degrees from the sun during April 8th's total solar eclipse, though it is likely to be visible in binoculars, a telescope, or a long exposure photograph, unless it outgasses at just the right time. So that'd be neat if that happens. Me and my family, we're planning on seeing the eclipse. I haven't experienced one before. We were talking to Tamara, the one that lives by Adamantiaman, that I gave the Artza box to, and they showed us video from Idaho when they were there, and just like how incredible that experience was. Let me know if you've experienced a total solar eclipse before and what it was like for you. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, hopefully the comet outgasses, and then we can really see it without binoculars or a telescope, or even better, it'd be great if it turned out to be the sign of the Son of Man. That would also be an acceptable outcome. And I think that's pretty much it. So just another interesting occurrence with this comet. It keeps changing shape and color. And let's go back to my spreadsheet just really quick. So this is my most recent entry here. I still have to put the reference. I'll do that after this video. And then I have a couple more entries. So here's April 8th. It's going to be visible during the 2024 eclipse on April 8th. And then It's going to be at perihelion, which is the closest to the sun, on the 21st of April. And then it's going to make its closest approach to Earth on June 24th. Okay. And of course, that's given that it doesn't like change direction if it's the sign of the Son of Man. But based on its trajectory and its known orbit, that's what they're predicting is June 24th is when it'll be closest to the Earth. Okay, well, that's it. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also, make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.